Hello, welcome back to my Declutter Clarity channel. Have you ever wondered, why is my house not as neat and tidy as other people's houses, no matter how much I clean it? You pick up the mop, you vacuum, you spray air freshener, you fold things, but there's still something missing. That feeling of being clean, light, fragrant, airy, nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, there are people you know who, when they walk into their house, want to stay. The floor is bright, the air is fresh, there are no strange smells, everything seems simple, not fussy, but still clean inside and out. And here's the truth. They don't spend hours every day cleaning. They just have small habits that most of us never notice. Today, I'm going to share with you 10 small habits that I've learned not from books, but from my own journey of transforming myself from a messy person to a tidy person. Guaranteed to make your home 10 times cleaner. Ready to get started. Habit 1 is change your perspective. The reason why you sometimes feel like your house isn't clean is not because you haven't cleaned it thoroughly. It's because there are dirty things you can't see. I didn't realize this until I was lying on the floor playing with my dog. From that position, I could see the dust at the bottom of the kitchen cabinets, the hair clumps under the legs of the chairs, the dried sauce stains against the wall. Places that normally go unnoticed by the eye, but the dust still accumulated. From then on, I started to practice looking at my house from a different perspective. It doesn't have to be done every day, but once a week, I would take a few minutes to observe from a low angle, sit on the floor, look up, look along the edges of the walls, the legs of the furniture. Then one day, I would stand on a chair to look down from above at the top of the cabinets, the top of the shelves, the ceiling fan. It's not a fancy cleaning, it's just that you see things you usually overlook. These details are not big, but when you finish cleaning, the house is completely different. The air is also less dusty, less of a vague feeling of dirtiness for no apparent reason. Not everyone needs to do this, but if you've ever wondered, why does my house still look dirty even though I've cleaned it so hard? Try this method of mine. If you're looking to take things a step further, not just decluttering your home, but clearing out the things that make your life heavier than it needs to be, then this next video is for you. Declutter like a privileged woman. 5 things women who know their worth often get rid of without regret. Not because it's fancy, but because it's about being selective, what's still needed, what should go. Hopefully you won't miss it. Now let's get back to today's video. Habit 2 is hunting for handprints. There are signs of clutter that are not things in the wrong place, but faint traces that you can't see clearly but still feel. Those are handprints. Hands touch everything in the house, but few people have the habit of wiping the places their hands touch. Meanwhile, houses that are always clean often have one thing in common. The places that are touched the most are the cleanest. Take a look at these places: light switches, doorknobs, stove knobs, coffee maker buttons, the refrigerator surface where you usually stand to open food, the wall next to the shoe rack, the stair handrail, the TV remote, the computer keyboard, even the place where the curtains are opened. All of these are places where hands have passed, leaving marks. Not obvious stains, but a feeling of smudges, a bit sticky, a bit blurry when viewed from the side. I used to think that wiping those things was too much free time. But one time when I had some free time, I took a damp cloth and tried wiping the coffee maker button. After wiping it, I looked back and saw a difference. From then on, I paid more attention. There was no need to clean the house in a total way, just walking around for 10 minutes wiping those spots, and I felt lightheaded. The house didn't need to smell good, didn't need to be shiny, just having no fingerprints was enough to make it look cleaner. Habit 3 is light painting every month. One reason your house looks dirty isn't dust or clutter, but old scratches flaking and wear, especially around doors, stairs, and baseboards. It's not immediately apparent, but it silently makes the house look old and dirty. I started to notice this when I was wiping the door and it still felt dirty. I looked closely and saw it wasn't dust, but peeling paint. No matter how I wiped it, it wouldn't shine. I took out the old paint and rubbed it a little just for a few minutes, but the whole door looked brand new. From then on, I spent a session every month touching up the easily scratched areas in my house. Not to make it look pretty, but to avoid a sloppy feeling. The door, the edge of the table, the wall trim, the corner of the stairs, the places that get hit the most are the first to peel. You may have gotten used to it and not see it anymore, but outsiders will notice it right away. Touch it up a bit, no one will notice that you just painted, but everyone will see that the house is cleaner. This may sound like a lot of work, but it will get you used to it very quickly. All you need is a can of paint and a small brush. When it becomes a habit, it's easy and effective. Habit 4 is spontaneous cleaning. There's not always time to clean a room completely, But if you let things accumulate to the point of overload before cleaning, it's twice as tiring. I used to do that. I waited until the weekend to gather my energy, opened all the cabinets pulled out, all the drawers, and sat in the middle of a pile of stuff without knowing where to start. In the end, I only cleaned a part of it and stuffed the rest back to its original place. Then I changed my approach. I didn't wait for the complete cleaning moment, but chose small areas and cleaned little by little. Every 2 to 3 days, I picked a random spot, a drawer, a box in the closet, a corner of the table, a compartment in the bathroom. After that, I didn't need to plan ahead. I just had 10-15 minutes to spare and I did it. I call this spontaneous cleaning. No pressure, you don't have to do the whole room, but just tidy up a place, get rid of some things you don't use anymore, and you'll feel lighter. The good thing is that clean houses don't usually wait until they're messy to clean. They have a habit of tidying up everything they touch, handling each small thing regularly. It doesn't seem like anything special, but gradually the house becomes less messy without you even noticing. Habit 5 is clean the door. If you feel like your house is clean but still feels a little dirty, you might be missing something very obvious: the door. The door in the house is a place that is touched almost every day, but it is also a place that few people think about when cleaning. I used to be like that. I cleaned the floor to the table, the glass, all of it, but I ignored the door. Until one day I decided to repaint the door frame and had to wipe it first. After wiping it once, I saw the color change in the towel. But when I finished wiping, the whole door was bright. The room also felt less old. From then on, I added a small task to my cleaning list: cleaning the door once a month. No need to clean everything at once. Some days I just clean the bedroom door. Other days I do the kitchen cabinets or the refrigerator door, dishwasher cabinet handles. Each time it only takes a few minutes, but the effect is obvious. This is the kind of cleaning that no one notices you're doing, but everyone who sees it will notice something neater in the house. Habit 6 is open doors to change the air. The air in the house is like furniture. If it's not changed, it will become stuffy without you even realizing it. There are days when I feel the house is heavy and I don't know why. There's no specific smell, but it still feels stuffy and uncomfortable. At first, I thought it was dust or stress. But then one day I tried opening all the windows, letting the natural wind blow in for a few minutes, and that feeling disappeared right after. Since then, I've kept a small habit every month. Whether it's hot or cold, I still spend a session opening all the doors: windows, main door, balcony door. About 10 to 15 minutes. No need for strong wind, just a fresh flow of air circulating through the house is enough. The feeling is very clear. The space is lighter. The smell of food, people, old fabrics naturally disappears. Sometimes I don't open the windows, just turn on the ventilation fan and the exhaust fan. It works just as well. Sometimes the house is not messy or dirty, but it is still stuffy. And the solution is not to clean anything more, but to open the windows to let the air circulate. Habit 7 is deal with smells on soft clothes. There is a smell in the house that comes from nowhere, but everyone can smell it, especially when they first come in from outside. It is the smell that sticks to the fabric. Sofas, curtains, rugs, pillows, mattresses, everything soft retains odors over time. I used to not pay attention. I thought that once my house was clean, the smell would disappear on its own. But one time, after a trip for a few days, as soon as I opened the door and walked in, I clearly realized that my house had a very unique old smell, extremely unpleasant. I discovered that it was coming from the sofa. From then on, I learned to pay attention to odors on soft items. No need to do anything complicated. Just wash the curtains regularly. Vacuum the sofa thoroughly. Sometimes spray an unscented deodorant to neutralize instead of covering it up. If you have time, drying pillows or covers in the sun is also very effective. This doesn't change the look of the room, but it does change the feel. The house may not be new or spacious, but the way it smells says a lot about how you care for your living space. Habit 8 is cleaning house cleaning tools. For a long time, I had a very wrong thought. Mops, vacuum cleaners, rags are things to clean so they can clean themselves without me cleaning them. But in fact, those things are the dirtiest. Once I went to clean a corner of the house using a vacuum cleaner, but it took forever to clean. I opened it up and found that the filter was full of dust, hair was tangled in the wheels, and the suction tube was also clogged. I suddenly realized I was cleaning the house with a dirty machine. From then on, I added a small task to my monthly list: cleaning the cleaning tools. Wash the mop, spray and clean the vacuum head, wash the rag, wipe the handle, wash the vacuum filter. Occasionally clean the washing machine and dishwasher because they also have residue accumulated in places that are not visible. When I finished, the feeling was obvious. Everything ran smoother, cleaned faster, and there was no lingering smell. Most importantly, I no longer felt like I was cleaning with dirt. This doesn't take much time, but if you skip it, no matter how much you clean, you won't get the feeling of real neatness. Habit 9 is see your home like someone else's. There's a simple way to know if your home is tidy. Try looking at it as if it weren't yours. I started doing this at the end of each month. Call it a soft reset. Just walk around the house, but instead of looking at it with my usual eyes, I imagine it's someone else's home. Or imagine that someone is coming over or someone is taking pictures of the living space. At that time, I suddenly see things that I normally wouldn't notice: a towel hanging loosely, a box of tissues sticking out of a drawer, a lopsided rug, a vase of dried flowers that's about to rot. Not messy, but unkempt. And it's those little details that make the house feel messy. What I do is simple: adjust the pillows, put away the things I've finished using, and get rid of one or two unnecessary items. Not to be perfect, just to get the room back to a state where I feel comfortable. Habit 10 is clean area no one sees. There's one place in the house that most people think is clean until they get really close: the area around the toilet, around the aposkiswaan. I used to think I cleaned the bathroom pretty thoroughly. But one time, because I had an old cat that peed everywhere, I tried using a UV light to detect urine. As soon as the light turned on, a map appeared around the toilet splatters on the bottom, the back of the toilet, the edge of the wall. Everywhere. And the remarkable thing is that it's invisible to the naked eye. From then on, I added another thing to my cleaning routine: clean the water jet area around the toilet. Not only the floor, but also the back of the toilet, the base of the wall around it, and even the back wall if necessary. This may sound a bit extreme, but it's actually very quick. Just use a wet towel to wipe around the area around the toilet, then spray it with a deodorant solution. If you do it regularly, there will never be a musty smell, even if many people share the house. The bathroom does not need to be sparkling. But if there is no smell, no more feeling of damp and dirty when entering, it will naturally feel much more comfortable. The things I've shared so far aren't tips for people who have too much free time, nor are they meant to make you feel like you're not doing enough. They're just small habits that are easy to repeat, and over time they make a noticeable difference. Each of the above habits is small. Some are a little weird, some are easy to ignore. So you don't need to apply them all. You choose one that you find suitable, try it for a few weeks, and then evaluate it yourself. It doesn't matter how clean your house is. What matters is that you feel comfortable living in your own space. If you're looking to take it a step further, not just cleaning your house, but cleaning up the things that make your life heavier than it needs to be, then the next video is for you. Declutter like a privileged woman. 5 things women who know their worth often let go of without regret. Not because it's fancy, but because it's a clear choice: what's still needed, what should go. See you in that video.